Have you ever met someone on an online dating site and thought, wow, this guy is perfect for me, or she is simply amazing, only to find out they were hiding a deep, dark secret? They plan to vote for Hillary. FreedomLovers.us was created for singles who want to exchange ideas and a love for freedom. People who are looking for solutions to create and defend freedom in the real world, and at the same time, getting that once in a lifetime chance to find their true soulmate. Whether you are interested in meeting your soulmate, making new friends, networking, or hanging out with that like-minded liberty lover, visit freedomlovers.us. It's the first free dating site and community. So patriots, don't waste your time with other dating sites. freedomlovers.us is the place where like-minded singles really click.
Alright guys and girls, you're listening to Love, Guns and Freedom. We'll look at Zanna on K-Talks 1340 AM and also on 104.1.fm. Or Point FM. Anyway, bottom line, Hour of Love. I always say one of the most important weapons we have against evil is love. Love for our fellow human. You know, we go out there, and after all, as I said, guns or knives or weapons in general, they're just tools. Our real weapon against evil, it is our love. It is our heart. Of course, I always say, you know, the heart is the activator, is the sparkle that motivates us to do the right thing, then follows by the brain, that I really believe it is real, the real weapon. And then, of course, if you have tools, that could be a handgun or a knife, could make life easier. But at the end of the day, it all starts from your heart. It is love. And you know, the sad thing in this society, no matter where you are, if you're in Europe, Italy, Germany, America, and of course now I will tell you the situation, what happened in Canada, we've been trained to be almost cynical, to completely be detached by reality. We see in front of us evil, we see in front of us bad things happen to innocent people, and unfortunately society is pretty much being programmed to just ignore it. Like it is not our business, it is not our problem. And that's sad, because at this point we will lose our humanity. I understand sometimes there are situations and consequences that we will pay even when we try to do the right thing, especially if you are in the wrong state or in the wrong country. I understand. But at the same time, more we let it go, more we will lose our humanity, more we will lose also this battle against evil. I always say there is nothing worse than we can do when we witness evil, just doing nothing. That's how evil will flourish. Now, I had with me already on my show in the past this guest. He's a friend, call him a brother. He lives in another country, Canada, that I had the pleasure and the honor to visit, even with my own reservation just a couple of weeks ago, because I really felt the reality of what the Canadian people are facing right now, how things are changing, how their rights are changing, how they've been somehow planned to self-destruction. That's the way I look at this. And that's sad, because it's a repeating chapter that already happened in Europe, in countries like Germany, or for example, Sweden, or even Italy. So I just pray that somehow what I'm trying to do today, to share the example of a man that I believe in my heart, he has a great heart, and he's trying to do what his heart tells him when he sees in front of his eyes evil perpetrated by people. And this time, in this situation, I tell you, there are going to be two cases that happened, and always the same type of people, believe it or not. The religion of peace strikes again. But regardless, let's go 1 second with him. His name is Tyrssen. He's from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Tyrssen, are you there?
Hey, Luca, how are you, buddy?
I'm okay. How are you? I know that you spent, I was worried because I didn't see you for a while, and I heard that you spent maybe a couple days in the can, right? You were in jail or not?
Yeah, first I broke out. I had an allergic reaction. I broke out in handcuffs, and then, the state put me up for a couple nights. It was not that I was comfortable sleep, but hey, the food was great.
Tell us
socialism at its best.
Tell us exactly what happened, because I know a few months ago, I think it was after the Christmas or the holidays there, you had a similar situation that you didn't end up in jail, but you end up at the hospital when you were trying to do something about some person that was, I think, on the transportation, and there was an assault. Remind us exactly, first of all, what happened a few months ago when you went to the hospital because somebody broke a bottle in your head. Tell us exactly there. Remind me that, please.
Yeah, that was right. Actually, I don't remember if it was right before or after the holidays. I think it was right before, like early December. Anyways, yeah, we have it's called the Sky Train here in the Vancouver area. It's like you know how down I don't nearest major city I guess would be what, Phoenix.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't know if it has one, but you know, like the big rapid transit lines, like how they have in East Coast cities and all that.
Yeah, I understand.
It's like that. It's kind of like that. But
okay.
Hello.
Yes, I'm listening. I'm here.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So yeah. Anyways, this happened a couple times to me, but yeah, what happened on the holidays really kind of sucked. But it's not because I like think I'm some kind of Rambo or want to play hero or nothing like that. I really actually, when it happens to me in my life every now and then, I don't want to be the guy that even. Oh, sorry, I got to watch my mind with that. But it has to do anything.
Okay.
It just if no one else does, what you were just saying, evil or whatever, misdeeds will only go unpunished because we allow it, right? Evil persists because good men do nothing. So
exactly.
I'm not about that. So I saw somebody. I don't know if they were trying to rob the people or maybe it was a personal thing, but so I got involved, and the person was he wasn't really he wasn't really into talking to me either, basically. So I got hurt a little bit, just my nose and stuff like that. But this one was a little different. This one really irked me. What happened there last week is once again actually public transit, and a group of what's the word I should use on the radio here? A group of Middle Eastern type people, probably in their late 20s or so, were harassing these very young girls. Like they look to me like they were definitely schoolgirls. Like we're talking teenagers here. They're minors, and there's maybe 40 people within earshot of this really derogatory way that they were speaking to these girls and stuff. And I looked around a couple times, no one else is doing anything. So finally I was like, I just kind of said to myself, well, yeah, here we go. So when the girls, who by the way, were looking very distressed, like they did not look comfortable with what was happening, and these guys were kind of like almost what's that word? They were lording over them. They were like almost surrounding them. So I waited till the girls had to get off at their stop, and I physically put myself in between them and these guys, and I just told them, you go ahead, have a good night, be safe. And then I turned towards the guys and said, well, yeah, this isn't your stop, so you stay here with me. And that's when they got really, I'm really trying to watch my language, man. Sorry, I got a bad habit of swearing all the time. But
that's okay.
Yeah, that's when they got really ornery. And the next thing I knew, one guy kind of grabbed me, and the moment I felt a hand come up and grab me. Then exchanged a few blows and whatnot. I didn't pull a weapon on anybody. No one pulled a weapon on me, nothing like that. It was just, what we call in Canada fisticuffs, sort of. But the police got involved, and all the people there, not only did they not do a single thing to help these girls that looked like very scared, but yeah, no one even spoke up for me either. Saying,
wow.
Yeah, hey, this guy wasn't harassing them or anything, because that's what they thought at first. They came because of me. They thought I was trying to pick a fight with these guys. There was like 7 of them or something.
Okay, let me ask you something. I have a couple questions. First of all, you say about 7, the number, right? So you were one person, I guess, let's say a group of coyotes here. We're talking about 6 or 7 people, more than one, right? Am I right?
Yeah, I think it was only 2, maybe 3 that assaulted me.
Okay.
But there were 7 of them or so in total.
Doesn't matter. They don't need to assault you all. When they act together as a group, that's for me, it's a very potential dangerous threat, because even they're just 2 or 3. By the way, 2 is not even 1. Right there, we have a disparity of force. That, of course, this is Arizona, could be different from you guys. But the fact when you have 2 or more people that they try to attack you physically to give you bodily injury, seriously bodily injury, you don't know what type of gravity they could give you. That's a serious danger, at that point. You have more than the right to defend yourself. Now, my question is, after, when the girls, you were on this bus, okay, on this train, did they leave at the stop? Did they leave the train and you were alone with these people? That's the way a situation started it?
Yeah, they it's hard to explain. It's an automated train system, sort of, right?
Yeah.
So it pulls into a station. A couple seconds later, doors open.
Yeah.
They're open for maybe 30 seconds. They close. I put myself between the girls and those guys until those doors closed again.
I see.
And,
so the girls left. You had no more witnesses. I mean, at least there were more your witnesses. They just left and ran pretty much. And you were left alone.
Well, I mean, there were witnesses, but they were all a bunch of spineless whatever,
That's my point.
squids, basically. And then they wouldn't speak up for me.
Wow.
There was a lot of people on that train. It was
wow.
I mean, I don't remember what time exactly, but it was basically like it was in the evening, when people are going home from work and whatnot. So
that's
there
very sad.
was a bunch of people there.
That's very sad. Sad, of course. First of all, I'm glad the girl they were able to get out of the train and go to safety. I wish, of course, they would at least been able to maybe be there when the cops arrived. Say, by the way, cops, this guy didn't do anything wrong, but they were already gone. But the sad thing that's your fellow Canadians, that they witness all that. All you were trying to do to put yourself between these ladies, young ladies, and these scumbags, they didn't say a word. That for me, it is disgusting beyond limits. I'm telling you, because now, of course, I am not there. I'm repeating what you told me. But the point is, I know you. You're a peaceful guy. I met you in person. And I tell you, you tell me that you didn't throw the first punch at them, right? I mean, you didn't start the first attack. Am I right or wrong?
Well, half right. Basically, someone. Well, one of them, they reached forward and they grabbed my shirt, like right below the collar of my neck.
Okay.
So once there's a hand on me, my instinct was just
that's enough. That's enough.
Make them have to let go. So I punched them.
That's enough. When somebody touch you right there here in our state, it's an assault. I don't need to wait that you punch me in the face. You touch me with a finger at that point with the intent to intimidate me or to let's say provoke me. Right there, we have an assault. At least in this country. I'm no lawyer, but I'm just repeating our statutes. At least in our state. So
it's the same here. Yeah, even just a finger, it's assault. You're touching somebody without their being okay with it.
Yeah, with the intent to provoke you or to physically harm you. That's the idea. So right there, I think in my opinion, you had the right to defend yourself. Especially, it wasn't just one person against one person. I mean, right there, when you have, as I said, disparity of force, in my humble opinion, more than one person, they don't even need to be harmed. They could, attack you all together, put you on the ground, and beat you with kicks in your face till you die. I mean, this is a serious...
Oh, and that kind of thing happens up here, and it's usually... I'm trying to choose my language here. It's usually that kind of demographic. Those fellas in that exact kind of setting where there'll be a group of them, and they'll kick a guy into a coma, basically. But it doesn't even have to be a bunch of people. Even just an altercation with one person. If he hits you and you fall over or you get knocked out or something like that, I mean, I take having to fight somebody pretty seriously, because you fall over, hit your head on concrete, you're dead.
Yeah,
doesn't matter how tough you are, you're dead.
and I tell you something. It was my first time I came to Canada a couple of weeks ago when we met. And I tell you, with my own eyes, I noticed, I don't know what happened to Canada the last 50 years, but I noticed what's happening right now. And in an area like Vancouver, especially Burnaby, that's supposed to be, kind of a nice area. I was just going around that, walking on the streets, especially around the park there. And I said, oh my gosh, am I maybe in the Middle Eastern here? I mean, what the heck is going on here? And, the sad thing, normally I don't care who you are. but I care. Unfortunately, I look at facts, and the facts is that statistically, this is not like an opinion or anything personal that I have. You see, for example, Europe, you see Germany, you see Sweden, you see also Italy, but especially countries like Sweden. The capital rape of Europe. They are, according to the police statistics, all these criminal acts against women and also against their boyfriends, because first they beat up their boyfriends to death and then they rape the women. They are mostly done, according to the Swedish statistic, by people follower of the religion of peace. And when I say peace, means Peece. Okay, that's my way I say peace. And I don't go after any religion. You can believe in whatever you want, but I draw the line. When your book tells you that pretty much not because I am a follower of your religion, you can treat me like a piece of crap, and your book, technically, I should become a slave, paying a dima, a tax, or convert, or you chop my head if we go to the extreme. So I don't really respect any of these things. And I understand now Canada is changing. You cannot even criticize anymore these things, or at least you have no more freedom of speech pretty soon. But I tell you, what is disgusting now, that this is becoming very violent. And I wouldn't be surprised if the police or the, let's say, law enforcement in general, they've been giving directives from above, from the administration that you have, that pretty much now it is not more about, let's say you were one of them, and let's say you were surrounded by a bunch of white guys, okay, Canadians. I'm sure it would be all the opposite, in my humble opinion. I think I wouldn't be surprised. You know what I mean?
That kind of thing has happened. It's freaking rare, but that kind of thing has happened, and every one of those white guys, even if one or two of them didn't do anything, all of them would be up for like a hate crime, basically. Like they'd be looking at like a 16-year sentence.
Wow,
guaranteed.
Well, this is sad. No, I'm really worried. I tell you, my humble opinion, don't go anymore by night on a night by bus, by a car or bicycle, something. Because this is getting scary. Every time you go out at night, this is how much can you handle this stuff. Now, when you gonna? What's gonna happen? You get released after how many days in jail? 2 days you spent?
Yeah. And you get, I'm sure you guys have a similar thing, but it's up here. It's called nicknamed a P2P, but it promised to appear. So
yeah.
You get released after they make you sign a little thing which says, that you swear that you are going to appear at this place at this time, and basically you go for a first appearance in court.
Yeah.
So like to either answer for charges and have them read to you by like a judge,
yeah,
or to have the judge say, well, this isn't worth anyone's time, and throw it out and basically have your time wasted during a workday.
Well, I hope Wednesday. You told me they're supposed to be there. The judge maybe has some common sense to say, wait a second. Of course, unfortunately, they need to have some elements. At this point, I'm no lawyer, I'm no judge, but I tell you, you need to bring some evidence. Say, after all, now you have your word against their words, and
if they do want to go ahead with charges, I want to tell them, okay, well, the private corporation that runs all the public transit here, it's called TransLink.
Yeah.
I want to say to them in court, okay, then you talk to TransLink and you request the security tapes, because there's footage from cameras all over those things, guaranteed. There's cameras everywhere on public transit here.
Exactly, and that was my next thing. At that point, you have the right to at least have evidence to show that you are just trying to stop a very dangerous behavior. That I think you did exactly the right thing, and I commend you for that. I tell you, I saw you a couple of times. I see what type of person you are. I mean, you're a piece of bread, but at the same time, you're not a coward. And I wish more Canadians were like you, because the problem here, what's happening, we've been taking over, and you guys, first of all, you got now probably the worst is coming to you, and we are next if we don't do something. But we're not gonna stop this if we just stay, barricaded in our homes, and when we see crimes or alleged crimes around us, we stay silent. This is very serious. I mean, these young girls tomorrow could be your daughters, could be your sisters, could be also your mom one day. I mean, this is serious. Where are the men? I mean, what happened to the men of Canada? My God, what do you think what's going on? Why people are just so afraid to speak up? And they don't need to fight. All they need to say, point the finger, say, leave them the hell alone. And when you have 30, 40 people screaming at these bastards, I think these people, they will start to run. What do you think? What happened to the men of Canada?
Well, I don't know. It's the culture here it's changed a lot since I don't know, at least in the last decade. Like I think you and I even talked about this when we went for that beer there. But I remember when I was just getting out of high school, looking at the people just a little younger than me, by like 2 or 3 years or so, and like they just, you know, like I couldn't see any way that like I could relate to these people. They were so different in attitude and worldview and what their concerns were and everything. Like even at that young age. And when I look at who those people have become now, they're all the SJW types, or else these, you know, metrosexual friggin', you know, squids basically. There's just, you know, squid means like you have no spine. It's a slang term up here. If you're called a squid, it's an insult. But yeah, that's what they are to me. And anyone who did have a self-respect and a bit of love of country, you know, well, I met a lot of those too, but they seem to be getting hard to find because they either served and now are whereabouts unknown, or they've been left to the veteran fare system to wither away and die. But it's a fine line. There are, you know, there are a lot of people here that won't, you know, they won't sit by and do nothing. But it's becoming like what, you know, friends of mine from Europe describe, where like I said, there had to be like, I don't know, the number I just thrown out there is like 40 people, I bet, who could see everything unfold last week, and nobody said, or, like, you could hear a pin drop, I bet.
Wow. No, that's
ridiculous.
You know what? In my opinion, we were talking, and you know, by the way, guys, when you listen to the last couple Sundays ago, my mysterious guest when I was around Burnaby, British Columbia, is him. It's Tyrssen. We were talking with him. You know, we were talking about this, and I have my own theory that is not even a theory. I think they are factual things. The way they've been mentally and physically castrating our next generation, it is on the open. I mean, when we start to see, for example, just mentally, you go to these schools now, public schools, they are just public re-education camps, you know, with these sensitivity programs that pretty much you cannot even anymore have a, let's say, when I was a kid in my boarding school in Italy, there was no idea we didn't have a fist fight. No cops were involved, no moms were called. There were just things between kids, and we were doing okay. Now, of course, you know, you cannot even have a drawing of a gun that you're going to be reported to the social services. And more important, you know, chemically, we are being, at least the new generation is being castrated chemically. I really believe all these estrogens in the meat, and of course, you know, in different systems like the BPA, the plastic, and the fluoride, and the vaccines, and the food, and all the crap they do, and the TV. I mean, it is just another way to destroy a generation of human being, and men especially. That's how you conquer a country.
I have to interrupt you to add something to that. You didn't see it because where you stayed here, that's, you know, like that's a nice area. That's a middle class area and whatnot. Yeah. So the problem that I'm about to mention would be there, but it's not something you're going to see publicly. But if you were in like downtown Vancouver, or out in like some of the more rural areas, like there's a place called Surrey, look that up sometime and see the problem there. But out of my generation, I look around at everyone, like you would not believe how many people I went to like I grew up with or went to high school with that have all gotten into either doing or selling drugs. Wow. Drugs, and like, you know, not like I don't mean smoking a little pot here and there. I mean people doing, you know, fentanyl and dying, or you know, people selling crack, cocaine, and like the drugs are rampant here. It's freaking epidemic.
No, I understand. I tell you, you know, I was excited. You're right. I didn't go to the bad part of town, but I tell you, even just being around the beautiful part of Burnaby, just going around, you know, this neighborhood is supposed to be a decent neighborhood. I can see them when they start to go around in pack, and they look at you. If you don't look like them, they don't have really exactly a friendly look. I'm telling you that, you know. And this is nothing new, because I saw the same behavior here in the U.S., in some part of the U.S. where I used to work years ago, you know, especially in Los Angeles 20 years ago. They already had the same attitude. And normally they go around in pack at night, They don't behave like, single individuals, like, human beings. Let's go out for a night, a date, or maybe just to have some fun. No, they go like a little tribe. All they miss is their camel. Now they go with expensive cars, maybe. By the end of the day, they exactly behave the same way. When I didn't tell you, my first job when I came to America, I was the manager of security of a club in West Hollywood. And the first problem we were pretty much invaded by this type of individuals. And you gotta be watching it, because you need to keep public image. At the same time, you want to have good people coming in, but you cannot allow to have 6, 7 at the time from the same tribe coming inside, harassing women, be violent. They cannot even handle a glass of alcohol, because in their culture normally they're supposed not to drink. And then when they see a couple of legs, they think they are pretty much like I don't know, hunting season, and all they need to do like grab the woman by the hair. That's not what's supposed to happen in a civilized country. So I understand this is very, very serious, and I feel sorry for all of us. It's not just your problem. Now, what do you think Wednesday is going to happen? You have this judge, and you hope everything's going to go away, probably, or you think maybe something else could happen?
Well, of course I'm hoping that, but I don't know. I mean, like they haven't clearly said what I'm being charged with, if anything. And if I'm not being charged, though, then why do I have to appear? But yeah, I still have to. I'm hoping that what's going to happen is judge is going to read out, probably the first paragraph of whatever papers are put in front of him, and he's just going to say, "I have better things to do than this. Bye. Have a nice day. Sorry that you had to come in here." Yeah. But that's not always how life works, I guess. But come what may. But
you have any witnesses coming with me?
It could go either way, really.
Yeah.
Especially that with my background and with the background of these people. This is someone pointed this out to me that I've known for a long time, and he said, you kind of picked a really bad time to have this little altercation, because these are the kind of stupid little things that turn into I gotta watch my language. Like a big crap storm. Where they try to make an example or whatever. So. Oh yeah. I mean, I can be outspoken, but even with those kind of people, I treat everyone on their merits.
I agree.
And I most certainly don't go out of my way to get in fights or anything like that. I respect life and people's right to not be accosted more than the average person. But
no, I believe.
Yeah, I kind of, like I said, it could go either way. I'm hopeful, but I'm mentally trying to be prepared that this could be a long, ridiculous circus show.
Yeah, because I believe what's going on, here's going to be a lot of politics. I mean, when you have the first minister of your country that cries on TV over the Syrian refugees, and by the way, correct me if I'm wrong, I read on the news, he's giving $1 billion Canadian dollars, or am I right, to the Syrian refugees? Am I right or wrong? I mean,
I don't remember the number.
Why was it 1 billion?
It's a big number. It's taxpayer money. Yeah, but he's so proud that since he came into office, he his party, the Liberal Party of Canada, that they're responsible for bringing in and what do you call it, giving safe refuge to more than 40,000 Syrian refugees. Well, I bet maybe 1,000 of them are Syrian. And what about like the hundreds of thousands of Syrians who can't, actually would like to be refugees but can't get out? That, like I said, probably hundreds of thousands could be saved if he hadn't have pulled our Air Force out of their bombing missions against ISIS. That's what he did. We're the only Western country that do not basically view ISIS as what they are, a terrorist organization that should be bombed into the oblivion.
Probably, remember, but just to let you know, ISIS, just to give you our side of a story here, is being funded and, of course, also financed by the CIA, the Obama administration, and they are terrible people, but they use exactly like, the puppets, to create distraction, so they can create the crisis, and then we come, with the army, and we create wars. But still, they are terrible people. But the sad story is that, unfortunately, they've been financed, and we have evidence here public records that the former administration was behind ISIS. The Pentagon was financing ISIS. Like, the Bush administration, they were financing also Al Qaeda. That's a fact. But regardless.
Yeah, that whole, Al Qaeda being the reason behind the war in Afghanistan. I think I told you, met a lot of bad people from different, drug cartel groups and, militias and all that. Never once did I ever hear of or see anyone be either captured or make contact and have to pick a fight with Al Qaeda. They just not there. Even the locals kind of laugh at it like it's a big myth.
Yeah,
I call BS.
It's the
if
enemy.
they were ever there, it was before the invasion, and then they got moved somewhere else.
Exactly, the invisible enemy that you never can capture. But we're gonna be at war for 100 years with this invisible enemy. That is exactly what the military-industrial complex dreams. That's how they create these illusions, and of course, and then we lose our rights. And more important, they create a crisis, and then we are forced to receive the refugees for the stupid and illegal wars. But I understand. Listen, I have a question for you. I really commend you. You have a big heart, and I tell you, I'm proud to call you my friend, because I don't know many other people that they would do that, especially after you already had smash just a few months before during Christmas. You just probably just follow your heart. Now, in Italy, there is a proverb: there is no tree without two, or there is no two without three, something like that. What if tomorrow, let's say, you go on minding your business, and again you see some young girls with surrounded and even physically, let's say, touched or assaulted by evil people? I don't care which color, I don't care which religion. Would you still do what you did, or would say, what, I done enough? After all, I gave enough, I need to mind my business?
No, I couldn't just see that and do the whole ostrich thing. I'm not. It's not even that, like, or I don't know. I don't view myself, anyways, as a particularly brave person. Or anything. It's just I would hate myself if I saw something like that and just cowered away and let it happen, knowing what could happen. That didn't happen. No, these kind of things that happen to me times here and there. It's not very common, but whenever it does, it's like, I'm serious. It's not because I'm trying to play a hero, and it's not even because usually I want to. It's just, so somebody has to. It's kind of like if you see somebody, especially in a case where like a minor or a woman is at risk or something like that. It's like, if you see that and you don't do anything, what if then you see that person's face in the paper or whatever? I mean, I don't know. I have a conscience. I could never do that. I would never be able to look myself in the mirror again, and I just feel like the biggest coward, whatever, in the world now. Even if I really didn't want to, or are afraid, somebody has to in that situation. When people just let it happen, then that's the end of it all.
I understand, and I feel like you, but unfortunately, you see, reality out there, the majority of society is being already brainwashed to completely ignore it, mind their business, go home, lock their door, and just, get a couple pills just to forget and get drunk maybe, and tomorrow is another day. But please don't touch my little world. That's the sad thing. I wish more people like you.
Go watch the hockey game and drink some beer, and forget about everything. That's the going way up here.
You know what I think?
Ridiculous.
I have my conspiracy theory here now. I believe that normally, the best people, what I call people, the warriors, people that they are by nature, they would like to defend the innocent, or they call them the sheepdogs, whatever you want to call them. They've been
we have that term up here.
Yeah, they systematically been let's say directed in these illegal wars. Because then, first of all, what happens? Like Ulysses, when he left town, when the king is, or let's say the man is out of the house, the invaders take over. And same story now, for example, when you got the best men or best women of a country pretty much sent overseas in these conflicts, and then of course they come back, they got their own little problems, they're stressed out, and they got maybe they need some help, and then they fill them up with pills and medication like we were talking last time. That's exactly how they're going to somehow control and, let's say, try to neutralize the best, in my opinion, of a nation. Because at that point, who is left normally? There are people that normally they are easier to, let's say, control, easier to manipulate, and for sure, they don't have that magic sparkle inside them. They would do things that normally the average person maybe doesn't even dream to do. So that's what I'm afraid. The best men and best women too, they've been pretty much sent away from home, from the shores, and now when they're back, they try to pretty much fill you up with pills and put you in a situation that you are potentially a domestic terrorist just because, you come back and you have knowledge and maybe you have no fear to stand up for your rights. And then exactly what happened. And then the country is left pretty much with a bunch of women, and nothing wrong with women. I mean, I know women that probably got more balls than many men, in my opinion. But then more important, you have these guys that they're really pretty much, like you said, squids, or whatever they are, spineless. So that's
squids.
Yeah, I really believe that. This is my conspiracy. They get and the same story here. Our best men, they all sent away overseas in 128 countries. And what we have left here is a bunch of older people and people that normally they're on drugs and they don't give a crap. That's pretty much the story, unfortunately. Not everybody, but of course, there is the majority. Anything you want to say in case I don't hear from you on Wednesday? Because I hope to hear to you Wednesday night, but, leave me a message in the bottle in case you don't come back.
I was gonna add to what you were just saying. That you basically just described my life for that's at least 5 years now. Growing up and all that. Well, of course there was other immigrants. I say other because I wasn't born here myself, but particularly there was the Persian kids and there's the Romanian kid and all that whatever. But this was Canada. How I grew up, it was Canadian. But when I was out, discharged, and trying to adjust and reintegrate back in, I started watching my friends, drop off from drugs or suicide, or just like even just the society here is so hypocritical. They'll talk about like you're some hero or whatever, which can be humbling, but really it's just like I'm the kind of person I don't want any attention, so I don't like people coming up and saying, "Oh, hey, thanks for your service." I used to really hate having to go home from Garrison in my Garrison dress, but at the same time, they'll then go to some protest and talk about what evil insert name whatever anyways that you are, and how all you care about is usually it's oil or whatever they say, and then they just talk, they just basically take a big pee on Canadian culture and Western civilization, and just dump on everything. And like literally in 8 years I watched the Canada that I knew for 18 years. I knew suddenly I came home, it felt like I just like woke up, came home one day, and I was in a different country. I don't get why or how everything works now. I always feel uncomfortable and stuff, and people here they don't. I don't know how it is in the U.S. I haven't been to the States for a while, but yeah, here there's no appreciation of the warrior mentality in any shape or form. Even if you're the truest warrior, which is that you're a peaceful person until you have to fight.
This is exactly.
But yeah, that's all. It's all shunned here now.
It's part of the brainwashing. It's part how you destroy a country from within. First of all, I'm an immigrant myself. You can hear my accent. I always say I believe in the melting pot. As immigrants, first of all, we should have the duty to assimilate in the country that we choose. And the point is, we choose the country, but the country must, at the end of the day, must choose us. It is not a right to go to any country unless we are born there. So that's the first attitude. You gotta have a good attitude. And more important, it means assimilating means that you don't bring your culture from hell. If you live like in places like hell, you try to say, right now I live in this country, I can live my manners of an animal that I don't even think an animal. Animals have much more respect for other people. I mean, I can go around animals and I know that how they behave. They are not cowards. Animals, they don't, unless you have a pack of coyotes. The only animals I can compare these bastards, they're coyotes. I live in the desert. I have a lot of coyotes. Normally what they do, no, it's true. They are normally
they're dogs, jackals.
Yeah, they're cowards. They pick their little prey. They are not real warriors. They don't go out, say, okay, let's have a fair fight. No, they just pick their prey that normally they know they can submit. They go around like a pack of gangs, 5, 6 against 1, and they're really disgusting. That's normally coyotes. I don't talk to coyotes. I shoot them when I see them, okay? But that's a coyote, of course. This is not a human being. But regardless, I have even more respect for coyotes. At least coyotes, they follow the nature. They need to eat. They don't even do that because they're really evil. They need to eat. These bastards, they don't have to eat. These bastards, they're just evil the way they've been raised by their mothers, the way they pretty much they read their stupid book. And I know probably now, next time I come to Canada, I may probably get arrested for what I'm saying, but I don't give a damn because this is exactly what's happening. And it's happening the same thing in Europe. Now you are the guys next, and I will feel very sorry because I see this trend now is getting accelerating in Canada. And if we had now, listen, I don't like Trump. Right now I have a lot of things I don't like about Trump. But I tell you one thing only: if he can do, stop this complete flood of invasion, I'd be at least pleased with that because this is not an immigration. This is not like some sort of, let's say, refugee helping the world. No, this is about an organized planned takeover of America from within. These people, they do not want to assimilate. Their goal is very simple: to come here, first of all, take over politically with the number. They will pretty much fight us with their penis. That's all I can say on the air because their birth ratio is like 1 to 5. In the next 10 years, 15 years...
1 to 8.
Yeah, 1 to 8. And this is the point, since they make us believe that we are in a democracy, and pretty much now the way it works, at least at many levels in the state, they can start to legislate, take over position in the government, and they dictate their belief, their morals, and their stupid book on us. Like, for example, it's happening right now in London. The mayor of London pretty much tells you what type of billboards you can put on the wall because, according to his book, beautiful women on a commercial billboard, they are not okay. And next time they can tell you how much beer you can drink or if you can drink at all and many other things. So I'm very concerned and I'm glad that... Go ahead.
Here's something. I mean, I've heard about this mayor of London. The province next to here in Canada, in Alberta, I think it's I don't remember if it's Edmonton or Calgary.
Yeah,
I think it's Calgary. They've had they're just trying to get rid of a mayor that's just like that. He like myself. He came to Canada when he was very young.
Yeah.
I actually I saw the guy speak one time. And he probably has less of an accent even than myself. That he's lived in Canada 20, 30 years. All of a sudden, after he becomes mayor, suddenly he becomes friggin' Saddam Sharia.
Wow.
And I've been to a couple Muslim nations. One in particular was a very nasty one. The other one was like the United Arab Emirates. The little gem that everyone holds up, saying look how great their culture can be. And well, here's the thing: Sharia, all that. Even before you get to that, problems come. And when we get off the phone, I want you to do yourself a favor, brother. Yeah. Look up a term, hijra.
Okay. How do you spell it?
It means migration. And then think about everything that's happened in Italy or Sweden. All these camps in France and Greece. It's in their Quran what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's why I always try to tell people, look, no, this is a freaking invasion.
Yeah. And you can see already now because, you pretty much look at, there are videos out there. People can say whatever they want. First of all, the statistics, they are there. Sweden now is completely taken over. There are some part of the cities in Stockholm or other part of Sweden, not even police are allowed to go. In France, you cannot go. It's completely Sharia law. There is no more law. There is no more the law of the land. It's just now the law. Imagine what happened in the next 20, 30 years if we don't stop this. So my point is, it's called like almost a self-destruction. But more important, all you have to do, guys...
It is. The West is committing suicide.
Yeah.
For no reason.
They had to read their book. You had to listen to their voice, they do not want to assimilate. They cannot assimilate. There is no coexistence between their belief and any social civil society based on respecting each other. At least I can't, any other religion I heard out there, there is no religion in the world that I know, even the most fundamental Christian or whatever other fundamental belief you want to have, that they think like them. Right now, these people pretty much says, you must convert to Islam, number one. If you do not convert, you have two options. Or you pay a tax, the Dima, you are like a B citizen, and you cannot have guns, by the way, or we chop your head. Simple as that. And you gotta go just on YouTube. I may play even something maybe now, listening to their imam or many different type of priests, whatever they call themselves, and pretty much they tell you, guess what? We don't want to assimilate. We will rule by Sharia law soon or later.
Well,
That's what they
they
do.
not only do they not want to assimilate, but they have a culture and their values that they've grown up with and been accustomed to that are so different from ours that even before they come here and scratch their heads at how soft and weak the mighty Westerners actually are when they come here.
Yeah.
They already come from a point that they have been at one spectrum and Western culture has been at the other end of the spectrum, at war for 14 years, 1,500 years.
Yeah.
So especially because even doesn't matter what your religious background is here as a Westerner or your ethnicity. To them, when they first arrive, you're a Christian, you're a Westerner, and if you're a woman, you are you have no honor. You're just I'm trying not to say the words that'll get you in trouble. Whatever, you're a prostitute basically, and if you're a man, then you're the same as livestock basically.
Yeah.
And they will be they'll what they're doing, especially here in Canada. You see it blatantly. They're using the laws that we put in place to protect people who maybe actually are from coming from a point where they find them can only go forward, and yet they have no one to speak up for them, no one to defend them and whatnot. But all those laws have been taken so far that these groups that come in that don't like us, people who still do have a brain, they use it against us. And the pattern is there. And people who say, "Oh, well, what's that term? Cultural relativism. Oh, one culture is as good as another." No. I have been to. Do you know who the Pashtuns are?
Yeah.
Starting Afghanistan and a bunch of Pakistan.
Yes.
The old Pashto culture.
Yes.
Now it has a lot of really beautiful aspects to it, but I've seen up close, very up close, what life is like there.
Yeah.
Coming from a country as nice as Canada, it's a real eye opener the moment you go into basically the Stone Age.
Yeah.
That's what it's like there, and that's what they'll do here. They'll run into the ground because everything is haram, or
Yeah, and also the sad thing is we're talking about people grow up in a very tough environment. They come here and they see this young youth pretty much like, when we have here, in America, the new generation, video games, soft hands, they cannot even go in a fist fight because, even if they just try to do something at school, they're going to get probably disciplined for life. I mean, we have a completely new generation the last 30, 40 years than our fathers. And now these people, they come from primitive worlds and they think it's like, let's say, raid time because there is no match. When you get these people coming from a world that they eat pretty much rocks for lunch, and and all they do have sex with gods pretty much. And you come here, you got a civilized country. They're pretty much, unfortunately, become too civilized, in my opinion. That's what we are. We are too civilized, and we have no more the instinct, what I call the survival instinct that our fathers maybe had. I mean, let's be honest. And then we were talking about this too. Testosterone level the last 50 years dropped dramatically by 70% in our generation compared to our grandfathers or fathers. That's the reality. And when these people come here, guess what? They have a party time because on top they have all the establishment, all the media, all the politically correctness out there on their side. And guess what? That's exactly how a country get destroyed, like the Roman Empire get destroyed from within. That's pretty much the same.
Civilizations die from suicide, Luca.
Exactly.
They don't die from being overcome. It's because they commit suicide.
Exactly. But my point is, still there is life, there is hope. Still there is people like you, in my opinion, there is hope. And I hope you can inspire other people. I don't care now if probably nobody in Canada listen to the show. I care that maybe other people in America understand what's happening to you and also what's happening to us, because the same story, believe me, happened also here. I mean, many other parts of America, we have the same problem. Trust me, Michigan, outside Detroit, there are some parts they don't even speak English anymore. And this is exactly how we stop evil. We must at least speak up against evil. I don't say that you have to go there and do what you did. Maybe not everybody has the body, the capability even to face it. But at least, guys or ladies, you have the duty to open your mouth and scream, for God's sake. If you see somebody being, sexually harassed or sexually, let's say even attacked, or even just beaten or violently attack anything that could be illegal, we have the right to speak up and scream. That's all I can say. Of course, not everybody is like Arizona, that we have the laws that give us the opportunity to defend evil, really also with deadly force. I'm not even going there. I'm telling you, at least use your voice. Bring a whistle. At least make noise. Don't just be silent and run and hide and go into your hole that I don't know how you can go in the morning and wash your face without spitting on that mirror. Seriously, guys. I mean, how can you do that? I mean, I would have probably a bunch of spit all over my mirror if I didn't do anything when I see things like that. So I really want to say I'm proud to call you my friend. I'm very thankful. I pray for you that Wednesday, the judge going to have some sense. And in case he's not going to, I know you will do the right thing. Ask for evidence, because evidence also must be there. And they will see that you were just trying to do your duty as a Canadian citizen to defend innocent people. So I give you the last minute. Whatever you want to say, you close the floor. Well,
I was raised, Canadian society, but in my household, we brought our little piece of culture from where we come from in Scandinavia. Not everyone is what most people think of when they think of that region. But there are the old ways, which in my family, you speak the truth, you look a man in the eyes, and you don't let BS happen. You call it out, and don't fear death. Don't rush towards it necessarily. You're here for important reasons, and you have people who care about you. But getting punched in the head versus knowing that when you do nothing and somebody, especially an innocent, like a child, gets hurt because you did nothing, you're worse than the person who did it to them, in my opinion.
Oh, I agree. I completely agree. I agree completely. Listen, Tyrssen, please be in touch with me, and I hope you can bring somebody with you on Wednesday, just in case something happens to you. At least they can let us know, okay? Try to go.
My brother will be coming in with me.
All right, and tell to your brother, give him my email or Facebook, whatever. At least in case you cannot get out there, in case they play any type of funny game, tell him to give me an instant message. Let me know what's going on, please. I appreciate it, okay?
Yeah, I can do that.
All right, man. Listen, I'll let you go now. Stay 1 second after this. Let me close. I stay there, okay? Okay, guys. Roger. This is Luca Zanna. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom. And please, we have a little break, and we'll close this hour. This is serious information. This show, it is not entertainment. Just the things I'm talking here, the way we are calling things. In some countries like Europe, I could be at least fined. At least I could be sued. And let's say in some countries I also could be arrested. Okay, so we're not playing games. I really want to do this because it's like a warning. Because what's happening right now in Canada, we are already here. It's not next. We're already here. And I say I don't like Trump. On many things he's been a failure. But right now, if one thing he must uphold, he must stop this complete flood of an invasion that pretty much was planned a long time ago. And if we don't stop it, it's going to be over. Do not go away. In this world where everything seems to be going sideways, when you need things set straight, Zanna Coffee Straight Shot Espresso. Start your day with a bang. The best organic and GMO-free coffee beans from around the world to amplify your senses and enhance love for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Zanna Coffee brings you happiness in every cup. Fair trade, certified, sustainable, organic coffee. That means we do not use slaves. Free Zanna songs with every coffee bag. Find Zanna Coffee at www.zannacoffee.com www.zannacoffee.com. Don't be cheap, you deserve the best. Get Zanna Coffee at www.zannacoffee.com.